This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811.
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to SimTraX Broadcasting. This is Patrick Morrison coming to you live here with the NSR Xfinity Series. Definitely a new league we're going to give a try out here tonight, presented by the NC811.org. Definitely call before you dig. We're taking a look at Mark Sikosi out there in the number 8 Chevrolet, trying to put down at least somewhat of a decent time during qualifying. We still got about another 4 minutes of qualifying left to go. Drivers getting squared away, seeing that this is an open setup league. They've got a few adjustments they want to make right here toward the end before we head under green. That's going to be a very difficult area for guys to make that adjustment, seeing that we are here at one of my favorite concrete tracks is the Dover Motor Speedway. This should be definitely a wild ride we will see here tonight. If you've tuned into any other league we've done, Alice Forget is one heck of a driver here at this course, seeing as how fast he was able to go. Just unfortunately, the barrels came out to bite him for that race. So he led about over 130 laps and then came down for pit, sped in, hit the barrels, and then it kind of smoked him out there. But it's still, regardless, should still be a great race here so far. We'll take a quick little peek here at what our qualifying times here are. Right now I'm looking at, it seems to be like Dakota Ehrman and Mike Bruno will be starting in the front, but the front 5 are actually consisting of all Chevrolets here tonight, and actually the top 10 only have 2 Fords. Looks like Matt Sisler there in the number 66, starting 6th. Uh-oh, that might not be good. And it looks like Colby Mize starting in the number 9 Ford. He'll be starting in 10th. We do still have a couple of guys who might think about qualifying, 4 of them that being true. with Justin Cope, Michael Brooks Jr. We're looking at D.L. Lemon out there and Thomas Stanley. We're hoping these guys are able to get out there, but we've got a couple hiccups here with iRacing itself, saying that some of these guys are getting booted. They are trying their best to get loaded back in and try and come out here and try to give it their all here tonight, seeing how this is going. There, we're taking a look at the concrete monster of miles out there here at the Monster Mile in Dover for the Delaware 200. Now let's go ahead and take a peek here at what we've got ourselves lined up for here tonight. As you guys have, as I spoke a little bit already, we're at 200 laps. Our stages will stop at 40 and 90. 100% fuel limit, six sets of tires down pits. But keep in mind, no fast repairs here. So guys start smacking into the walls. Guys start getting destroyed here. Not good. These guys are not going to be able to recover, and they're going to have to figure out how to fight back. But the temperature on the track, I think, is going to be the most key, is seeing we're about the 81-degree mark. Really, you like Dover to hang out around that 95 to 105 mark for nice, good, sticky tires. Guys being able to get all the grip that they're looking for, and that is just not what you're going to find here tonight. Guys are going to maybe slipping and sliding all over the place here, and the adjustment to make that left front tire not chew off of this car is going to be really, really critical, and you will see many, many guys adjusting the car here tonight, seeing that they'll be fast in the first part, make an adjustment, and they'll slow down, and they may kick back after the next stage. It's going to be very, very tricky. But I would not assume these guys are going to need to pit for fuel. And that's not going to matter, because after the lap 90 mark, I assume if we can stay under green, that we'll have one green flag stop, and then these guys will get underway back onto the track. But fuel should not be an issue. I would probably gauge maybe somewhere between the 65 and 80 lap mark before these guys are out of fuel. We'll check and see, and it'll always adjust depending whether you're in the front with fresh air or you are drafting from the back. But that's going to do it here, and to kind of give you guys, like I said, a little fill-in of what we got started up here. Stanley, Cope, Lemon, and Brooks still have yet to make it out to the track. They've got less than 30 seconds, seeing that our best times out there are sitting around a 22:73 by Dakota Ehrman. That is an insanely fast time right now. With some guys were shocked out there that Michael Strickland in the 87 Chevrolet during practice ran a 22:86. So he's actually been beat by two other guys, Mike Bruno and Dakota Ehrman, who will be starting on the front line here tonight. Once again, I appreciate you guys joining us here at the NSR Xfinity Series. Definitely, we are getting started in the new season they've got lined up here, seeing that this is race number 2. I know last season, if you guys tuned in over with Fleegster, that the last season's champ was John Williams. He'll actually be having a top 5 start here tonight. I guarantee he's pretty happy about that. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this track. Concrete on the racing surface, yet asphalt down on the bottom. If you see guys actually racing around turn 1 here, having a little trouble getting this thing hooked up, it's slinging on through, as you can see a perfect example here. If the left side tires end up touching that asphalt, guys are going to end up spinning. There's no way for them to stay connected on there or be able to stay stuck and not sling right back up the track. And it's going to be extremely, extremely difficult and critical for guys to make a good turn entry and pull through middle of the turn, because the turn exit, honestly, is the most dangerous part about this entire track, is where it goes. If you enter the turn wrong, it's going to be, the entire turn is ruined. The exit is going to be the most critical, and that's exactly what you're going to see. But let's go ahead and take a look at our starting grid here for tonight. And forgive me on any kind of name butchering here. Dakota Ehrman and Mike Bruno. I'm going to say that about 3 more times. Mike Bruno will be starting in the front row. Michael Strickland will be starting 3rd next to Brandon Banks. John Williams will be 5th next to Matt Sisler. Looking for John Hammond, Craig Parks moving on through, looking to see if they can hold on to it. Ed Perry will be 9th, Colby Mize starting in 10th. Heath Fonseca will be in 11th, and Alex Tessie is starting in the 12th position. Rolling on through here, guys, as it's looking pretty solid so far with the speed we see already. And look at how many drivers we got as well. Let's go ahead and get to the rest of them. As we start here in row number 7, back here with Brian Rayburn and Robert Sanders, Mark Cook and Joseph Jurvala starting in 16th. Looks like Justin Lewis will be 17th and Timothy Davis 18th position. Matthew Wheeler and Mark Sikosi. Mark Sikosi actually starting a little farther back than he wanted. Definitely not a good qualifying time. 20th position for the number 8 machine. He'll be starting in the back. Andy Reeves and Justin Cope will be starting in the 11th row. 12th row starts with Cameron Combs and DL Lemon. I'm not finding where Lemon, remember, he didn't qualify out here. He may be serving an end-of-line penalty because Michael Brooks and Thomas Stanley, both these guys here in the back, they didn't take any qualifying times either. So definitely keep an eye on these guys here in the back as they are fast here during the race. But can they make up any kind of ground here as they get ready to get under green here in just a moment? We are getting ready to see this one get launched off. Pace truck is off the ground here and now off the racing surface, heading down pit road where it belongs. Green flag is out, and away we go here. Now, these Xfinity cars, extremely wide, a lot heavier than the next gens you guys used to seeing me broadcast here. So expect them to be throwing their weight around as they head into turn 1. 87 machine and Michael Strickland making sure he puts his best foot forward, getting in front of the 54, Brandon Banks. Banks now having to set back a little bit, but not too far as John Williams is trying to get underneath of him. Look how close he's getting to the bottom here. He's got to hold on. Keeping on the fight here, as this is definitely a good battle we're seeing so far for that 4th position. Sliding on through, John Williams has it. Out in front, you can tell right now, Dakota Ehrman leading by half a second. That is going to be key, seeing that the fresh air is going to come big time into play. A lot of guys trying to see if they can find another angle to get through these turns, as it's only single file most of the track. But John Williams going at it again, seeing if Michael Strickland can get pushed up the track, and he does. Strickland going to have a hard time trying not to loop it out at 2 into the wall, holding on. Definitely fresh tires is going to help him here, keep it off the wall, and John Williams being the first driver to move up a couple positions here, sitting in 3rd. So he is not looking to stop, but we'll keep an eye on John Williams as we rotate through the field. I want to kind of rotate back here to Keith Fonseca. Looks like he may have dropped off just a little bit, losing 1 position in that 61 Chevrolet. He's got some work to do. So far, so good. Everybody staying calm, cool, and collected, but 200 laps. You guys may be thinking, man, this is going to be a long race. This is going to take a little while. Well, if CNR times are going about that 24-second mark, this should really saw away very, very quickly. Only 1 mile, very quick. Drivers reaching up somewhere around about that 190-mile-an-hour mark in only this 1 mile. And you got to love that banking. That's where it comes into play. Definitely able to hook these guys up and keep rotating on through. Looking to see if Brian Rayburn here can come up on Fonseca. We're riding along the Gravedigger machine right now. Definitely a lot lower than the real Gravedigger, but we're taking a look at the 74 Chevrolet as we ride on top of his car. Take a look at how everybody else takes these turns. A little higher and then dipping down right before the exit of turn 2. That's exactly where you want to be, is making sure you get a decent round out. Take a look way out there. If you see somebody entering turn 1, that is actually Dakota Ehrman, and that is the gap. You actually see back all the way back to Mike Bruno. Let's rotate up to Bruno here. Bruno looking back on John Williams. Williams still trying to set him up here, and looks like we've got a little bit of trouble here in the back of the pack around about a yellow car, and trying to see if we got something going on here in the back. Alrighty, Mark Cook, he's losing 3 positions here, unfortunately, unable to kind of bounce back. He had a decent qualifying time there, so at least sitting in 15th, but man, he's rolling on back. But I'm wondering if he's sandbagging a little bit. A lot of guys try to conserve these tires and hold back. 6 sets of tires, you got to hurry up and kind of keep moving. Fortunately, there are 2 stages here. The first one will be stopping at lap 40, so you really want to have the hammer down here, and I'd probably fry the tires off knowing that 1, I have enough tires down pit to make it this race. 2, I've got stages to stop, so there's at least a competition caution and holding on to it here, so they'll at least be able to push forward just a little harder than they normally do. And everybody's having to pit. It's not going to be a green flag stop where it weighs on everybody. Did I come in too early? Did I come in too late? Should I have taken 4 or should I have only taken 2? But that's so far so good. I do want to find our hard charger here of the race So far, I'm not seeing too many. I've got a couple guys up too. John Williams, Timothy Davis in the 92 Ford. I see him moving along here. Right now, he's got a couple Fords in front of him. Looks like the number 47 and Robert Sanders in the number 1 machine, trying to see if they can get something going on here. Definitely a very interesting track, and with it being concrete, it's a lot grippier on the tires. I know grippier, some sort of word that is. But what it does is it rubbers up a lot easier, and these guys end up getting a lot more traction later on in the race. But if it starts melting, starts getting too hot, which we saw the track temperature, that should not be the case. The rubber will start laying down, the track is going to remain cool, and these guys will be able to continue to pick up more and more speed, which is exactly what Dakota Ehrman is trying to do, is definitely push his, enforce his will here and get out in front. 1.5 seconds is what he's gained here so far, and this is exactly what he wanted to do. This is exactly on the agenda, and exactly what his pit crew has set this car up to do, is pull away. But if he can get a fresh breath of air, which he's done, away he's going to go. But it looks like that Molly machine is getting on a roll. Nothing's going to slow him down as we get in the chase copter cam here, seeing if we can see any kind of anything he may be doing different out here on the track, as everybody in the back of the field needs to start picking up the pace here. They're about 13.8 seconds off, means he's less than 10 seconds before he catches the tail end of the field. Big time moves, if you think about it, of what him sliding around, finding the good angle, and making sure he keeps out there. Take a look right at the track here. The number 1 machine you see passing the line, that's there, and he's less than half a track away from lapping the guys here in the back of the field. Guys in the back of the field are Michael Brooks and Justin Cope. Cope may have gotten in a little bit of trouble, seeing that he needs to make up about 3 seconds before he catches up to the 24th position. 15 laps complete here as we start lap number 16. Guys still pushing on through, and it doesn't seem like anybody is slowing down at all. Not much fall off. 23.63 seconds here for John Williams. He's last lap he ran a 24.18, so about a half-second fall off in less than 20 laps here. They've definitely been pushing extremely hard, I would say, like before. If I have that amount of time before a stage, I've got to push. We got to get going fast. I can't waste any sort of time and get up to the front. We got to definitely clump these guys back together, make a good pit stop, not have a Denny Hamlin pit stop, and be able to get back out onto the field and try to run these guys down one at a time. Stella out there in the chat. Nice to see you broadcasting another league. Congrats. Thank you. Yes, I am filling in tonight for the NSR League. These guys are doing a fantastic job. I've taken a peek on a couple of the other broadcasting stations that have taken these guys, and this is a very clean league. These guys play very nicely. There is a couple fumbles here and there, but that's what you're going to see. You know, guys just battling for the same position, and just two guys fighting the same spot. And Stella, you have joined me before in the booth. And we've seen a lot of net code, a lot of guys touching that weren't actually touching, and we got somebody here backwards. Sorry, starting to fly down. Somebody is sideways here. I'm looking to see. I think that's Colby Mize here that is around backwards, which is going to bring out our first caution here of the night. Colby Mize from Fredericksburg, Virginia. My original hometown. I'm now over here in Tennessee. He gets turned around here. Looks like on lap 20. Well, lap 20 is where we're on. I'm showing a mark for the 18. Let's take a look and see what happens to Colby here coming off turn 4. Oh, car starts looping. 47 not looking to let off here at all. Yeah, Robert Sanders may have checked up a little bit, saw him sliding around. Yeah, looking to see if we can see anything interesting. I would question if anybody would consider coming down pit here and figure out what they're going to do. Let's see if we can ride along with Mark Sikosi here and see what we see. Okay, so he's much, much farther here in the back. That works out pretty good for him. Let's see if who else we can find here. I want to find Timothy Davis so he can kind of see how it loops around here. Yeah, the car breaks loose. He's up high, nudges it off the side of the wall, and keeps on rolling. Some guys did decide to come down pit, though. Right now I'm showing Justin Lewis in the 77 Chevrolet. He came down pit road. Andy Reeves came down pit road. And I believe Cameron Combs is down pit road. Looks like he's sitting down here for about 54 seconds. Already, there he goes. Now he's coming out. So either we were scrubbing off some damage or he may have been black flagged here for speeding into the pits. Gets a 30-second hold and has to keep on going. All right, rejoining, coming down pit, changing their mind. Marcus Cozy. Looks like Justin Cope is working his way down, and Lemon is working his way down. Wish could have gotten Mr. Lemon down here, or don't hate butchering it. Hopefully it's not Lemon. All right, let's get back up to the front where cars are double stacking here. Dakota Ehrman not happy about this one. This is now going to give the guys another shot. Mike Bruno and the number 19 Liquid Molly car. He's not going to be real happy about this. He's going to try to make a shot for it. John Williams pretty happy about it. He's going to get another angle here. We'll see how this one gets back underway. Pace truck is off. Let's see how we get this one going here. Green flag is out, and away we go. A couple guys sliding already just because of the heat transfer in the tires. Moves here so far. Right now we're seeing Bruno trying to keep that 48 close. So far, Ehrman's not getting too far. Already a quarter of a second and now picking up. Man, he's got that thing on a rail here. Right now, Dakota Ehrman is really rolling here. Not too bad. Single file so far. Diving into the turn much hotter is John Williams. Williams trying to reel in the 19 as we got an overhead view here of the track. Right now we're seeing here the battle for 1, 2, and 3. It looks like Ehrman's going to break away almost up to half a second now. And now he's going to trying to turn himself into a smaller dot on the front of everybody's windshield and try to catch the tail end of this field again. Let's take a look back here, a little farther back, as I want to take a peek here at Brian Rayburn. Rayburn looks like he's still trying to chase down Fonseca here. Craig Parks sitting in 10th. Unfortunately, losing 2 positions here on the night, as well as Matt Sisler. He's lost 3 sitting in front of him. But we got guys who are shuffling around a little bit as Alex Tessier here trying to move on through. He's slid up to the third with his 32 machine up to the front, but I believe I've got another number 7 out there trying to see if we can keep them all together. So far, so good. All right, everybody, and you do see how it's going out here. Everybody single file yet again. Let's get a little closer to this battle, as this is already looking like some issues here in the back. Right now, Sanders might be under a lot of pressure here as he's stuck on the outside. 77 machine and Justin Lewis starting to slide. As they fly underneath the spectator bridge, one of the one and only. Definitely unable to get any kind of tickets to get in there. You better be a heck of a donor to get back at that. All right, taking a look at Timothy Davis as we were talking about the bridge. Definitely decide to cross the bridge and smack into the wall here. He's definitely going to be dealing with some right front damage as these guys are flying around the track, getting back up to speed like they should be. And we're getting around about that 180 mark. Guys taking it a lot easier before, but with 11 laps left to go. Oh, no! The 74 machine gets turned around here and gets blown to bits. Brian Rayburn is blasted. Yeah, he's going to have to tow on that one. Absolutely destroyed. Holy cow, what a hit. Let's take a look at Brian Rayburn here and see what in the world happens here. Oh, the 17 comes off the wall. Boom! Man. Hood's in the air. The bumper's behind him. Holy cow, what a hit. Holy cow, what a hit. All right, let's see if we can find ourselves an angle here inside of Brian Rayburn's car and see what he sees. That's as fast as it happens. And his night will most likely be over. Holy cow, what a hit. All right, let's get us back live here where a couple of guys are coming down pit and guys you probably might not expect. John Hammond is working his way down. Matt Sisler, Mark Cook, Timothy Davis, Robert Sanders, Andy Reeves, and Michael Brooks. All these guys are working their way down pit road, starting to throw on some tires and see if they can shuffle it up a little bit right before we head to our stage break. Man, he smacked that wall. Whew. All right, trying to work their way out of pit road here. Pit road is very, I would probably say pretty interesting here, seeing that speed limit's sitting at 35 miles an hour. I mean, that is insanely low. You're coming around these turns 180, 190 miles an hour like we were touching earlier in the race. And then slowing down to 35 miles an hour. I guess that's like coming off the highway and hitting a residential zone. Yeah, it's just, that's almost impossible. So these guys, we will see a lot of speeding penalties here tonight. A lot of speeding penalties. Most of our pit stop times will sit about that 15:32 mark and less. And we're looking at drivers like Andy Reeves. He had a 32-second pit stop time. Robert Sanders at 41, but he may be trying to scrub off some of that damage. Normally you got about a 30-second hold for speeding down pits if you do speed down pits. So far, pace truck lights are still on. We'll be back under green here in just a moment, hopefully to get this stage back underway here and finish this one on up. Right now, I'm sure Dakota Ehrman would like to throw an extra set of tires on this thing. And he is one of the drivers who is yet to pit. Nobody in the top 9 has decided to come down pit yet. Justin Lewis and Cameron Combs came in on lap 20. And Matthew Wheeler and Thomas Stanley are falling on back just a little bit, but not most of the night. Thomas Stanley has actually picked up 12 positions in the only Toyota that has been out here tonight. So hopefully Thomas Stanley will be able to keep on the roll here. If my wife is out there watching, I'm fairly certain Mr. Stanley here in his picture is wearing a set of pit vipers there. All right. Let's see how Thomas Stanley does out here as the drivers double stack. Lane choice by Dakota Ehrman in the front, sitting on the bottom. Mike Bruno will be in our second slot. John Williams and Michael Strickland will be starting 3 and 4. Keith Fonseca picking up 4 positions. Ed Perry, don't want to miss him. I believe he's out there in the Jaws towing machine. Right now, the top 9, all, like I said, have not pit. But are all Chevrolets. We got Mr. Joseph back here. We'll see how he does in his Ford. Alrighty, let's get ready to get this one back underway. Green flag is out, and here we go. Not bad here so far. That's exactly what you like to see. Guys getting firing out of there, trying to pick up as much pace as possible. I do want to sit back here around that Andy Reeves area and see what in the world is going on. Right now, Reeves, and it looks like Thomas Stanley. Stanley trying to hold that bottom lane. You saw his car bounce just a little bit. Definitely a shock adjustment may need to be made as he keeps on going. Matthew Wheeler, here we go. We took a look just as we moved the camera. Turned backwards he goes. Hopefully this doesn't collect a bunch of drivers. But I'm not going to say that was broadcaster's curse. That caught a bunch of drivers up in that one. Holy cow. Well, looks like Mr. Lemon out there. Mr. Wheeler is blasted to pieces. All right, let's take another look at this. Definitely want to see what happens. Yeah, it looked like the 66 may have ricocheted off. And that just ended up catching him. I think this is the killer, is the rotate back down. Where Justin Cope, I mean, just absolutely plowed him there. I don't think he was able to slow down enough. Let's take a look at it from the top side here. All right, you see him right there in the red car. There's the ricochet off the wall, comes back and catches him. Yeah, I think the best thing the 12 could have done is probably lock him up there instead of sliding back down the track. But he may have thought he may have been clear to get back down to the bottom of the track there. So unfortunately, Matthew Wheeler will be fixing a substantial amount of damage here. Matt Sisler, he was the one who ricocheted off the wall. And Tires Pro machine, Craig Parks, he's down pit road now. Robert Sanders joining the pit box again. Michael Brooks looks like a 32.5-second pit stop time and back out. Mark Sikosi out there. Right now, I've only got one driver taking it back to the garage. And it looks like Colby Mize would be the one. And I think that may do it for him tonight. Looking to see if Rayburn is going to be able to continue. And if Lemon is going to be able to continue. Lemon is actually pretty beat up out there. Justin Cope. Interesting to see Cope being able to return after we saw the damage. Look at that right front tire. I think he'll be rejoining pit road here. That thing is destroyed. Looks like Haley Morrison out there in the chat. Hello, Miss Haley. Appreciate you joining us here tonight. Definitely you are finding me serving it up here with the NSR Xfinity Series. Guys, you can check them out at nsrxfinityseries.com. And if you're thinking about joining the league here, they are recruiting, always looking for great drivers here for the Xfinity League. Definitely looking to sign up and try a few things. With an open setup, I know some guys, it's definitely not a short race, but the guys, you know, we run 100% races, so make sure your endurance is good, your equipment is good, you got plenty of tires, you got plenty of fuel, and you're able to come out here and give it your best. If you guys are looking into it, check out the NSR Xfinity Series. Heck, I think you can even find them out there on Facebook. Alrighty. We'll check and see if this is going to count as our stage break. Assume it does not, but they'll be under green here at lap 40. That's what I'm checking on now. So we'll try lap 45 is when we'll try again. And get this going. Ehrman only needs to make 5 more laps before the stage, and we'll get this one going again. I believe everybody out there in the chat so far, Miss Stella, Miss Patience, and Miss Haley. I believe all you guys have seen me out here racing in these Xfinity cars before, but we're going to watch some of the best do it here. NSR taking off yet again here for another green flag. Let's get it going. Right now, Ehrman has been flawless on his restarts. Gets to the bottom, slides back to the top, drops down, and is able to take off. So an excellent run here. That definitely gives everybody something to think about on his restart abilities. Moving on through, let's drop back here to Brandon Banks, which looked like he was about to get the back end of his car rearranged by Michael Strickland. Justin Lewis slings to the top. I'd be surprised if he doesn't scrub the wall. He does just a hair. Right now, that 77 machine is on a tear here. Looks like he's trying to improve something. He has thrown tires back on that car on lap 20, so he's got 20 lap fresher tires than the rest of the guys in front of him, and that's going to bring out our next caution here. Alrighty, taking a look out there in the chat, kind of getting down to it. Joe saying, let's go. El Paso is watching. Go Army. So hopefully we'll see Joe do a good job out here. Hopefully keep it together. Remember, he is dealing with some damage here. I don't know what's happened to him. Let's see if we can float on back. Let's see what has caused our caution here. Oh, there we are. So this is what happens when you got a terrible connection. This is what I think this is what ended up happening. iRacing kind of threw it here. We'll see it kind of jumping around just a bit. Trying to see if we can find him. There he is. Now he's braking sideways. Yeah, he was dealing with such a packet loss. iRacing couldn't keep up. Down pit road he goes. Taking a look, Matt Sisler out there. He's the driver of the 66. He said he didn't hit the wall, but he thinks he was loose on the outside of the 12. And he thought he kept off of him. I wasn't sure if he had made contact with the slip to the outside. Sisler right now is saying his car is destroyed, and it looks like Matt Sisler is taking it back to the garage. Timothy Davis and also Mr. DL Lemon out there, he is taking it back to the garage as well, throwing in the towel here for the night. Hopefully you're going to be able to see these guys recover here. I do want to take a look at what Mr. Sisler is saying here, as he didn't clip the wall. I don't know if something happened here. I want to see if we can take a peek. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it past that general tire mark. Let's take a look. Oh, he got loose. Yeah, he got loose. Almost clipped the wall. And then around he goes. That's all right. Things happen, guys. Things happen. The key is to kind of wrap it up and get ready back for the next race. The next race being another extremely fast track. And I'm not talking the Super Speedway of Atlanta. They're going to the old school Atlanta, the 2008 model. So they're going to be having a go at that track, and they'll see how well how well they can fare. All right, a couple drivers had come down pit. Our leader here most of the night, he's going to be starting back in 15th. So the only person I'm showing not to have pit yet is Ed Perry here in the 30 Chevrolet. The 00 John Hammond will be in the front. And hopefully we'll see what's going on out there. If Mr. Sisler is still joining out there, if you got a chance, man, come and join me here in the infield car care center. I would love to know, man, how that track is feeling out there, because now we're starting to rack up a good bit of cautions here. Guys having a little trouble getting stuck to the track. And that's what I was saying about that track temp. Went okay so far, but as we keep cycling the tires, the cautions are just going to keep on coming. They've got to keep on a perpetual motion here, and then keep floating around, and let's figure out what else we can do out there. But maybe we'll see something like this go a lot better. Definitely, we would have actually Miss Stella with me tonight. That normally joins alongside me here in the booth, but I believe she is just now returning back from her trip from Europe. I'm hoping to see, like I said last time we were talking here on the broadcast, to see how that goes and how it kind of chalked up and how these guys were ended up feeling here. So hopefully we'll see a good race here. Pace truck is off. We'll go and grab a hold of Matt Sisler here in just a moment as we are about to go back under green here and get this one back underway. We'll fight after this. Let's get ready as we are in the restart zone. Away we go. John Hammond sidestepping that clutch, and away he goes in the Pennzoil machine. And he's going to be able to lead some laps here, not under caution. Away he goes, where Cameron Combs slides to the outside immediately, wasting absolutely no time. Looks like he fires off right out of the gate in the right gear that he wants to be. But around they go. Mark Cook, he's seen what he can do on the bottom side there of Ed Perry. Perry trying to hold on to it. And Perry, the only driver yet to pit here so far on lap 47. This is looking pretty tough, and I'm wondering if he's starting to talk to his crew chief saying, we might have made a mistake. Cameron Combs looking underneath here, trying to see if he can push on through. Looking good so far. Love to see it, as we are not under caution. We've got a battle for the lead. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place here, watching the battle for the lead of the 3 wide in the back, as there is all sorts of stuff happening out here on the track. Cameron Combs yet to break past John Hammond here, and he does. Let's see if John Hammond decides to slide underneath of him. I don't think he's going to have enough momentum, and he may have to file back in, rotating on back where Ehrman sits. Now let's see how it goes. Right now, falling on back, looks like, I believe that might be Justin Lewis, I think. Lewis is either falling back or the driver to the outside of him of Craig Parks in the 82 Chevrolet. And we'll grab a hold of Matt Sisler here and see how it is going. Matt, you got a copy?
Yeah, I do, Patrick. Yes, I do.
All right, man. Well, definitely a rough night here tonight. You got loose, and you were right. I made the wrong call there. I thought you may have clipped the wall, as we've seen a couple of these other drivers doing out here. Dude, talk to me about this track, man, and kind of how it's holding out there on the concrete.
I overran my tires in that first little bit. It's why I came down on lap 30 to get tires, and restarted 15. Thought I had a shot at it, and I don't know. I was just trying to. The tires were. I mean, it is what it is with the tires. You're kind of going to have to gauge your tire wear, and I ran a little too hard, and we had new tires on our Tire Pros Ford. I thought we were going to be able to get up there. I was trying to follow the 00 up through there, and I didn't want to hit the wall because I knew that was going to be a problem. And it is what it is. Got into the 12. I feel bad for him, and I know I collected a couple other people, but. Yeah. I feel bad for them. That was on me, but yeah, we got a meatball pretty much from that, and just decided, okay, take it behind the wall.
Yeah, well, definitely you tried to come back, and I know the 12 he was trying to recover. Matthew Wheeler, he was trying his best. He is out there on the track, unfortunately, about 7 or 8 laps down here. He's gonna have to try to see if he can fight back. He may even be more than that, but man, we have such fast tracks out here, and these Xfinity cars, they're all based on momentum. Once they start getting loose, man, it's hard to get them to recover and snap back. How do we kind of combat that, seeing that you guys are heading back to the trailer and off to Atlanta?
Really, the only way I know how is, you gotta find a rhythm, and you gotta get into the rhythm, and That's why I started to slide back that first run because, you know, my car started getting tight on me out of nowhere, and I was trying to make sure, you know, stay off the wall, stay off the people, because here at Dover, one person hitting the wall, you know, everybody behind them is at risk. You know, if you hit the wall, get loose and spin, there's nowhere to go. There's a reason they call Dover a self-cleaning racetrack. So, really, I think it's just trying to find, you know, a consistent long-run pace. And, you know, I thought I had found that, and then, you know, came in, got tires, knew I had speed, and then just is what it is, unfortunately. Again, sorry to the 12 and everybody else back there that got caught in that. That was on me, but live and learn, and we just gotta try to go on to Atlanta next week and find, you know, and do better than we did today.
All right, Matt Sisler, while I got you in here, man, give me your shout-outs.
Well, I mean, my paint designer, Lil Hooper, he does all the paints for my cars. Shame this one got torn up tonight. I also got torn up in practice where I slid and hit the outside wall trying to stay off somebody. But I ripped the rear bumper cover off. He probably wasn't happy about that either. But him, everybody over at M3S Motorsports, that's my team. Apex Tech Racing Supply, they were on the bumper. Celsius, you know, Hugger Oranges, Ford, everybody on the car. Mark, who puts on NSR, they do a great job here. This is the second season I've been with them, and this is a very fun league, very clean league to run with. Although tonight I don't think I quite held up to the clean standard.
That's all right, man.
And to you for doing the great broadcast. I had it on my phone, so we'll just come back next week at Atlanta and try to do better.
All righty, man. Good luck to you, and hopefully you do better there. Some guys, they can make it less than 5 laps. Sometimes it's not a scratch at Martinsville. Matt Sitzler, good luck, buddy, and we wish you the best of luck next week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much. Hope you all enjoy the rest of the show.
Oh yeah. All right, everybody. That is Matt Sisler, the driver out there of the number 66 Ford. You remember he started up in that 6th spot right now, trying to see if he can get going. He's going to have to drop back and punt here as he gets ready for Atlanta. We've seen a couple battles out here on the track. One I do want to stick to right now is that number 48 of Dakota Ehrman. Once again, he's trying to slice through the rest of the field, getting Mark Cook behind him now, and he's reeling in the number 5 here of John Williams. Williams, last season's champ here, definitely has had a good run all last season, as he is able to collect another, only one win last year, but man, oh man, was his consistency on point. So we'll see if John Williams can continue it on through. But let's rotate up to John Hammond, who originally took off and was leading this race. Cameron Combs has put him behind him, and now unfortunately Hammond is rolling on back to 3rd and now to 4th, as Strickland is now getting ready to pass him underneath. The 87 Chevrolet, where it was still, this entire league is riddled with Chevrolets. They are sold. That is the car to beat, and out there going to go. And right now I am seeing only Mark Cook and Robert Sanders sitting 8th and 10th here at Dover. Right now, trying to hang in with their Fords, but right now this is just a battle of the Chevys out there. So Mark, oh Lord, I did it again. Mike Bruno sliding underneath the 19 machine, killing it on through, trying to figure out how it's going to go. Oh my gosh, yeah, and right now Dakota Ehrman, whoa, man, he takes that right front and almost nudges him there. Definitely a good shot here. Let's ride along with Ehrman. I want to see another angle. Ehrman trying to pedal it there. He knew he didn't want to be in that area. Right now, Ehrman back there with the lap 43 tires, trying to see how it's going to go. There it is. There's his movement. That's what he needed to see. He needed to see the 00 go ahead and nudge. You do hear the tires sliding a little bit here on Ehrman's car as he's trying to reel it in. I would probably expect, seeing that he is fighting through a lot of dirty air, he is having a hard time keeping that thing hooked up and starting to run fast already. Cameron Combs, little trouble out there on the track, has burned up the tires, contact with the wall a couple of times, and Combs is now working his way on back. So now we're seeing if his 22-point position gain has now been cut down to only 18 positions gained, as he now sits at the bottom of the top 5. He's got a lot of work to do. Ehrman, the fastest on the track, trying to see if he can reel him in and pass him next. Williams moves up to 4th. Bruno sits 3rd. Strickland is 1st. And right now, Brandon Banks. Banks leading it by half a second now, but this is what we see many, many times as these guys slide back and forth down here on the track. Is this what you want to see? Are we getting out there too soon? Is it too fast? Are we getting ready to end up in a boatload of trouble? And is he frying the tires off? The key is having the right consistency and the right amount of strategy here. Seeing that we've had a couple cautions, I think these guys are back to the drawing board and not assuming this is going to go the right way here and not the way they expected. Right now we're trying to see how this goes. Right, drivers laps down here. Mark Sikosi, Justin Cope, and Matthew Wheeler. Most of the other drivers I've seen other than Brian Rayburn have taken it back to the garage. That would be Matt Sisler, Timothy Davis, D.L. Lemon, and Colby Mize. So they are down and out for the night. They'll be starting at Atlanta for the 2008 run. So we'll the 2008 track for that run next week. You guys will definitely have a good clutch of guys here. Right now, I'm pretty impressed to see what I see going on so far. A couple of cautions there for a few hiccups, but it was definitely time for guys to really start coming in and changing tires. So you see where that stage break, how stretched out it's getting and how crucial it gets, as you do see right when those tires start having pretty bad fall off here, and they're going to have to see if they can battle back and try to maintain. I would say tire management is key in this league. If you can figure out how to hold on to the tires for as long as possible with a consistent time, you can win these races. And if not, just the consistency of being able to get up front and continue on through, just being able to do the right thing and being in the right place. But right now we've seen a couple of drivers out there in the wrong place. Things happen, but it's going to be a battle back and forth throughout the day. As I was talking earlier there about John Williams in the 5 Chevrolet, his average finish was a 7.22 in the last season. He led 238 laps, 7 top 10s, 6 top 5s, and 1 win. We ended up becoming the 2023 champion for that season. Excellent job done by the number 5, but hopefully we'll see John Williams, who is now being passed by Dakota Ehrman here at this track, if he's able to kind of reel him in and squash him here, because Williams is starting to allow guys to get by. Right now, everybody here in the top 5 has at least pit on either lap 42 or 43. Everybody behind him has older tires, either from lap 20 or lap 30. So right now they should have the upper hand here. And Brandon Banks is showing exactly that as we take a look back off the back of his car at the rest of the field, or the guys trying to run him down. And Mike Bruno is sitting second here, trying to see how this goes. I don't know about you guys out there in the chat, but you notice kind of the separation that we are starting to get. Actually, we see from Mike Bruno here, he's actually stuck kind of in an odd spot. 0.7 of a second in front of him is Brandon Banks, but about a second behind him is Michael Strickland. So if he's looking for any kind of draft help to help get rid of some of that downforce to the back end of that car, he's not going to get it. Right now, Michael Strickland's way off, sitting behind him, and he's got more things to worry about as Dakota Ehrman's going to be taking a peek. Let's take a look off that left rear quarter panel. Here's that Liquid Molly car, slides underneath. He might have him here. Good shot from the inside. Take a look from the top. Rotating on through. Good pass. Boy, I'll tell you what, right now Dakota Ehrman is on a roll here so far. He's picked up 10 positions here in the last 25 laps. So far, he's been sliding on through whatever adjustment he was able to make, but he is fighting the front end of that car. As you can see, he's having to kind of pedal it on through as we're riding behind. Watch how his car, see how it starts to sit from the side? He straightens it up there. And that little bump you see coming on the outside. So that is definitely something we need to keep an eye on and see if Ehrman is able to get back to the lead, as he is now 2 seconds off pace catching Brandon Banks. Banks may have possibly burned up some of these tires here, but we'll see how it goes. Haley out there looking like her fruit of the day is an apple, looking pretty good. Glad you were joining us. Definitely got a surprise for you when you come to this side of the mountains here. Definitely looking good here so far. Let's take a look. Right now, Mark Cook on the outside. Mark Cook allowing that driver to go by in the number 7 Elite machine. Right now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Justin Cope is back out onto the track. Cope is down a boatload of laps, about 4. But not as many as Wheeler. Wheeler's down by 10. Continuing this roll on through. Appreciate you guys joining us here at SimTraX Broadcasting. We're definitely trying to bring you the best in iRacing. We are here with the NSRA League as a surprise visit here to host these guys at the Dover Motor Speedway. Once again, we have 200 laps here tonight. Definitely they should have plenty of tires, but they are sawing them away to pieces right now with 6 sets down in the pits and no fast repairs. So that's what you're seeing, is some of these guys having to take it back to the garage. Sisler, Davis, Lemon, and Mize heading down into the garage area and back to the drawing board. And this should be a great race here so far. The Racing Revolution that we also host, they are down and out. Looks like they are going head to their off-season, head to the drawing board, get ready for iRacing's quick little updates for a little bit of rain, a little bit of different Ford nose job, you could say, with the updates that they're having to the next-gen cars. And the Doghouse Racing League should be going for the Thanksgiving week, so you guys are definitely tuning in at the right time as we're getting good racing here so far. I enjoyed Dover a whole lot. This being kind of the 1 mile track, concrete, guys side by side. Really, it's only a 1-lane racetrack, but man, guys try their best to make it 2 or 3, and just able to maintain much longer. I used to take the kind of the line that we see Justin Lewis taking here a little bit. I ride about that 3/4 of the way up. And unfortunately, it does take, a little bit of skill there to try to pump it up. Right now, he may need to adjust that right rear spring to try to add some more force to that tire. Otherwise, it's going to keep slipping out from under him here. Yep. Ooh, there's his pull again. He's trying to dive down in those turns. I like what he's trying to do. But that may actually apply more pressure to the right front tire. So a lot of things you guys see here is something these guys are trying throughout the race. Where can it go? As the track seems to rubber up, and then it's self-cleaning, which means the marbles get pushed up to the top of the track and out of everybody's way up against the wall, and not out, really down on the racing surface where everybody's kind of pushing around. These guys are going to start trying different lines, trying to see if they can find a better groove. As the car settles in and the tires wear out, I don't have as much left side tire life, so can I ride high and pick up some more pace? And right now, Justin Lewis is trying everything to figure out what he can do to make this car work. And he is right now fighting this thing something fierce. We're taking a ride along here with Justin Lewis. Right there. Man, he's gonna have arms like Arnold here if he's gonna have to sit here and keep working the wheel like this. Right now, Justin Lewis trying to hold on to it here, under fire. Driver here in the back, so far so good. He's trying to hold on to it. 86 laps complete here at Dover as this concrete track has taken a few victims. Many drivers trying to still figure out what they can do or if an adjustment can be made. Last time we were under caution was a good bit ago, back on lap 42, 43, back underway at 44, so they've just about doubled that, putting laps down here on the track, and that's kind of what you want to see, is them sawing away these laps as fast as they can, because that is definitely going to help these guys avoid the fatigue mark. But right now, I am not pulling the camera off him. I think we're going to see something happen to Justin Lewis here. Right now, he is all over the track, trying to hold on to this thing. Right now, that Premier Security machine is having a heck of a time here trying to hold on. I don't know what he can do about that car. He's riding high either to let people by or he's trying a different line, but it is not working as he's sliding again. Wow. All right. He's going to be in a lot of trouble here very soon. He can't hold on to this thing. We've got our eyeballs on him. But right now, he is not the only Chevrolet out there with some problems. Craig Parks, he's down 6 positions here so far in that 82 Chevrolet. Trying to come on back, unable to do so at the moment. but it is not his original starting spot. Craig Parks, I believe, is showing on the 17 out there on the track. So out there in y'all's ticker, it should be the 82. But hopefully he'll get that paint squared away for the next race. That way their broadcaster will enjoy that. Keith Fonseca, let's rotate up to see how he's doing, moving up 3 positions. Cameron Combs dropping out of the top 5. He's now up 17 positions. So right now, Fonseca seeing if he can rotate on through as the drivers split in front of him here. This might be a good opportunity to head down to the bottom and slide on through. Good job. Rotation off, hitting the wall, not good. Right now, Mark Cook has a big decision to make if he can get underneath the 59 here. 59 has already contacted the wall once. And you guys just see there's no part of this track that's not dangerous. John Williams trying to slice underneath. Looks like the 47 there, and we are under caution. If I'm not mistaken, this should be our stage. Good racing here so far. 4 cautions not scheduled. We'll see if I think Joseph here, he's got his blinking under control. Guys starting to stack up here. Getting ready to see pit lane get busy. Banks, Ehrman. This should be everybody. Should be coming down pit road this time. So we'll see if they keep an eye and see if they're going to get them about coming down pit road on that inside line. That could definitely pick up some time here. We'll see how strict they are on that. Ehrman working his way to the front. Remember, he started in the front of the pack, so his pit box will be closer to the front. Right now we're sitting in Mark Cook's box. There we go. That's Robert Sanders here. Expand your mind. All right. Look and see as left sides go on, back down they go, away he goes. So the race off pit road does go to Brandon Banks. $14.95 in the box, $14.98 for Ehrman. So they'll go ahead and get stacked up with each other. David Rayburn out there, great broadcast. I had a very good car. Wish I could have finished. Thanks for the race, NSR. Hey man, appreciate you shouting out us and the league here. Definitely, these guys are trying to do the best that they can. Almost to that halfway mark, and we've lost a couple of drivers here, unfortunately. Gonna have to see if they can kind of keep it clumped back together. Hopefully, we'll see if David Rayburn, I do see him down there almost 38.5 minutes. That is quite unfortunate for the 74 Chevrolet out there. And hopefully we'll see him be able to have a possibility of bouncing back. 105 laps left to go, 104 when we get back underway as the cars double stack here. A couple drivers revisiting down pit road. Sikosi, Mark Brooks, Cope, and Matthew Wheeler coming back down pit. I don't blame Wheeler for wanting to come down one more time. Try to see if he can straighten out a couple of fenders. We remember him ricocheting and getting spun out on the one caution back there on lap 35. So he's going to have a good bit of work to do, starting from the back. They may have extended here. I believe pace truck lights are still on. Right now, looking pretty solid here so far. You guys hold on just a moment. We're going to head to commercial. We'll be right back.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have X-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC811 app. Know what's below. Before you dig, visit nc811.org to learn more.
.104 laps left to go here in the duel at Dover Motor Speedway. Drivers double filed yet again. Back under green. Here we go. Right now out in front is Brandon Branks in the 54 Chevrolet. Dakota Ehrman to the outside. Ehrman definitely feeling like he's got the upper hand here. Fresh tires. He's going to be sitting right behind him. I want to keep an eye there on Ehrman. Ehrman's going to have a shot here on the inside. He's looking to see if he can come back for the lead right now to the inside. What a run here for Dakota Ehrman. Slides down to the bottom, rotates up top. He's going to lead lap 97 on to 98. Fantastic job there by Brandon Banks going ahead and letting him on through. It looks like there was definitely a battle to be had, but he's living to fight another day as some of these other guys are having a heck of a time. Definitely already finding some issues here in the back. Robert Sanders is around. There's one thing you can guarantee, fresh tires are going to be the mark of this one. Let's take a look. The outside line, looks like that car's starting to straighten up a little bit. Might have been fighting a little bit of understeer, pulls it back on down. Oof. Contact and around he goes. Good job by everybody not getting involved in it either. Wow. That was close. We'll see what this looks like from Thomas Stanley. Let's take a look at it here. And now Thomas Stanley. Here he goes. Oh, man. What little input. Oh my gosh, I thought he was gonna move more than that, but he decided not to. Holy cow. Look at, we're gonna take another shot at this. Yeah, we're gonna see how close he gets. Right now I want to see right about here. Oof. Wow. Excellent job by everybody with a little wreck avoidance there. Looks like Sanders is taking it down to pit. 21 seconds in his box already. This will be his fourth visit down to pit road. Ehrman holding on to the lead at the moment. As we are back under for our sixth caution here of the night. Only one of them is been scheduled. They went ahead and took the caution there in the back earlier. That I believe we saw Joe spinning out on. They went ahead and called that as a caution and the stage break. Staying out on the track is most everybody. Ehrman hanging down toward the bottom. We're going to see if anybody else decides to come down pit road, and it looks like it's going to stay pretty empty here. Joe does come down for his fourth visit. For 48 seconds in the box. Might be fixing up a little bit of that damage to that Ford. Fortunately, Joe here is actually starting in the 16th position, exactly where he qualified this race. And the only other driver to be exactly where he qualified the race would be Dakota Ehrman on the pole and back in the lead. 47, revisiting pit yet again. I don't know if he's having some trouble out of that car. Looks like he's driving a Stewart-Haas racing machine. Let's see how he does. Right now, Justin Cope, he's on his way down pit. Also looking like he has a little bit of left front damage as well as right. His fenders don't look quite straight. He might have to get the hammer and knock some of those dents out of the hood. Justin Cope, he's down here as well. Cope hanging out down in pit. Whoa. Interesting picture, dude. Alrighty. Pace truck light should be out this time by. Brandon Banks will most likely be starting on the outside of Dakota Ehrman. See how this goes. Hoping Mike Bruno and the Liquid Molly car. Yep, here we go. Double stacking. Xfinity vehicles are one of my favorite. It's no longer a sequential shifter like they do in the next gens, which means most of these guys sit there with a either a shifter and just ratchet shift, which means just pushing in a third to go up or pushing in a fourth to go down, or pressing buttons on the steering wheel. This is actually requiring of a manual shifter, so all these guys are having to go 1 through 4. There is no 5th gear. So that is really a good thing. Like I said, I'm more of that old school. I like the 87s. I like the Xfinity cars. And just trying to keep it racing the way I thought it should be. But as NASCAR goes on, it definitely expands from the car that you used to buy off the dealership, throw a roll cage in, weld the doors on, and put a helmet on and run, to now a multi-million-dollar machine with thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of R&D. To figure out how to make these cars go fast. But each and every weekend, these guys put in a little bit of time here, especially even on the simulator, to get these things dialed in. And away we're going to go. Dakota Ehrman, off he goes. 48 machine out in front. Mike Bruno already sitting in that second spot, and we're already seeing, looks like Alex Tessie here, sitting in the 3rd position as he battles next to Banks. Banks on the outside, trying to hold on to it. Can't miss that 54 number. Love seeing it. Definitely that big, bright highlighter. You can't miss him. Seeing who is following behind him there. I think Cameron is considering holding on to the outside line there. 87 of Mike Strickland said, nah, I've been on that bottom line all day. I'll hold on to that bottom line. Now joining him is going to be the 51 machine sliding to the bottom. And trying to see if he can hold on here. Seeing if that Rowdy Burns number can keep it on going. Look at that turn. Holy cow. Right now, he gets past Alex there and flies up to Strickland's rear bumper. Dakota Ehrman, actually, just a quick update, is narrowed down the fastest time on the track with a 23:32. That is faster than his qualifying time. So right now, he is flying around this track. So in less than 25 seconds, Dakota Ehrman is making a lap here as he pulls away from the field at 1.3 seconds ahead. Definitely would heed word of caution from Mr. Ehrman out there that if we go back under caution, we're going to wipe that clean again. So it looks like the battle here for 3, 4, and 5. Everybody's kind of calmed down a little bit here. Let's rotate backwards here to Stanley, Thomas Stanley that is, and the only Toyota in the number 62. And we're back under caution. Looks like Mr. Sanders might have gotten caught up in another one here. Spun around in almost the identical spot that we saw him back on lap 98. All right, let's take a peek over top here and see what happens to Robert Sanders again. Almost looks like the same exact problem right there. Slides again. 7's probably going to clip him here. Yep, just a slightest nudge. Bam, back into the wall. Man. Yeah, something about that turn, too. Something's got him. It almost just seems like the race car's too tight. Just can't get that thing to loosen up. So Robert Sanders back to the drawing board here as everybody's coming down pit. Trying something a little new. Not everybody, excuse me. Actually, Joe, Justin, Lewis, Thomas Stanley, looks like Andy Reeves coming down pit, and Justin Cope coming back down pit. Now, we've seen Cope come down pit a few times now. Definitely this will be his 9th visit of the night. He has been down pit road than really the front 4 combined. So we'll see how they fare. Try to see if they can pick up a little extra. I would probably assume we're going to try to straighten up a little more of this damage. Some people would say when you got a smaller track like this that the aerodynamics don't matter as much. I beg to differ. When these guys are trying to drive around, get the lean, the last thing you need is the wind catching that right front fender the wrong way, and it'll actually try to pull you up the track instead of keeping it straight. But that is exactly what we're seeing here. Some of these guys trying to hammer down the dents, flatten it out, straighten it out, and get it back underway and going again. Pace truck lights are still on. And definitely a decent race here so far. So far, not too bad. We did have a caution back on lap 18. We visited another one on 29. Then we had 35, and then you got to admit, right after that, it wasn't too bad. Everything was A-OK and square there for a good while. Yellow flag came out for the stage right about that lap 45 mark, and then we went all the way to 95 before we saw Ed Perry, John Williams, and Matthew Wheeler get caught up in one. Then we stretch on out to the lap 98 with Robert Sanders and the lap 106 with Mr. Sanders as well. Right now, if there's one thing Mr. Sanders is going to want is kind of a mulligan here at this race. Seeing how he's getting blasted to pieces out there, definitely is not having a good night, trying to see what adjustment he can make. But remember, I've talked to some people that some of the adjustments they're going to make is black box adjustments, which is what you can adjust inside the car or just inside down pit. Not in this case. You definitely want to try to get that car as close as possible and then make your slide adjustments when you were adjusting for the track's conditions as the race goes on. Let's say if we're racing right now about that 1 o'clock in the afternoon and the sun starts going down, the track starts getting even colder, you may have to really start watching your tire pressure out there, definitely lower it down a little bit so the tires heat up a little more, and then that way you can stay stuck to the track with a little more grip. Pace truck lights are out. Ehrman setting back to a 0 now. He's not going to have any much of a lead over Mike Bruno as we're going to get back underway. Already 90 laps left to go in this race. Appreciate all you guys out there talking in the chat. Appreciate you guys subscribing and joining on. Definitely we are trying to put on the best show out here at Dover. Dover's a fantastic race. Definitely love seeing it. Definitely something to think about is they also race horses on the inside of this track. But these guys are running about about 700 of them underneath the hood of this one. So we'll see how this gets going. Pace truck rejoining pit road. It's where you should be. Park at the end. Don't turn them lights back on. I want to see this thing go green to the end. Pace car down. Green flag out. And away we go. Go to Ehrman. Fantastic start. Still flawless every time he's had that opportunity. 1, 2, and 3 already getting single file all the way back to the 5th position. Looked like John Hammond was going to try to slide underneath Alex here. Right now, Alex Tessie, our Canadian out there, trying to fly on through, trying to see if he can hold on, but Hammond's going to challenge him. Down to the bottom, Hammond goes. He's going to pedal to the metal out of 4. Keeping on going. He's got just barely a fender on him. Alex does on the outside, but Alex now 2, 3, almost 4 car lengths off. Tessie's going to be chasing. Fonseca sits in 8th. John Williams right now holding back the 17 there at Craig Parks and Mark Cook. They hang out behind him. Right now, Craig Parks, he's been on a roll backwards. Now he's on the roll back forward. He's only 2 down from his 8th place qualifying spot. He's going to be trying to see if he can chase this down. Right now, I know he would love to return to the back, but contact there with Mark Cook is not going to do it. Cook says he's going to make it into the 10th spot, and he does. by way of trial and fire here, and let's see how it goes. Bumping off the 17 there, or the 82 there, Craig Parks. His Chevrolet is going to have to head back to the drawing board as he scrubs the wall, sitting down in 11th. Justin Lewis, he's working on it here. 12th position for his blue machine, seeing how he can go. All right, now that's 77, looking for the 7th place, I'm sure, to see if he can get a little lucky to get there. Remember, Mark Sikosi was actually down a lap here. These cautions have definitely helped him. That 8 Chevrolet is able to slice back to the top, but I believe that Mark Cook is getting back up to the front again, and Mark Cook is around. Hammers into the wall here on lap 115. Boy, he's not happy about that. Oof. See if I can get some drone footage out there and see what we see. That's the damage here to the 95 machine. We'll see if he is able to continue here on the night. Bring out our 8th caution. Let's see what happens here. I think he was sitting out there with Williams. Williams holds it to the wall. Looks like everything good, no contact. And that's where the movement starts. Yep, he went on up. And the 5 just playing defense here, just tries to get down and out of the way. Unfortunately, that does put Williams into the wall. I would expect to see Mr. Williams coming down pit road here. And we do. There's John Williams. Here he comes. Right now, John Williams is probably going to have his pit crew grab a hold of that right front fender, pull up and out, try to see if he can get it off that right front tire. As he had to take a pretty good lick into that wall. You see the dent. So let's see how this goes. Right now, pit road. No one's exiting yet. Taking a look, most guys are starting to throw on some tires. Banks, Williams, Craig Parks, Combs, Fonseca, Lewis, Sikosi, and Mark Cook down pit. And out they go. We are sitting in Mark Cook's box here. Doesn't look like he is coming out of pit yet. John Williams, he is still sitting down pit. I guarantee he's not happy about that. Looking to see if he's able to fix any of this damage here. Ooh, there it is. All right. To the Elite Performance Industries car, who's been running a solid top 5 here tonight. Joins another 5, and then unfortunately that's going to be 15th. Yeah, I do appreciate, once again, you guys joining alongside us here tonight. Cautions are definitely riddled on this one. Squeezing this one together. Hopefully they are able to kind of straighten this one out. I don't know what's going on. I'm wondering if there's a little trouble with the spotters out there. You know, the iRacing spotter is definitely a little drunk at times. I think he's partied a little too hard before he gets up in the spotter booth. I prefer using the crew chief application. That definitely helps. And you can choose how fast or how often he updates you. That's definitely a great idea. Seeing how John Hammond's been driving around here, I would assume it may be an application he is running. John Hammond being there in the 00 Pennzoil machine, the big, the yellow one out here. Can't miss him. All right, car should be getting double stacked here again, as we get ready to get this one back underway. All right, a couple of the Elite Performance Industry cars are getting smashed up out here tonight. Hopefully they'll be able to calm it down, just nail it down and get going. Right now, 2 Liquid Moly cars out in front, 48 and the 19. We'll see how this goes. Out there in the chat, you guys are still alive out there. Tell me how it's going, how you think it's going to hold up here, and we'll kind of chat it out here and see what you guys think as well. The driver I'm waiting to see kind of kick it into high gear here is going to be Cameron Combs. I think we're going to be waiting to see that 51 Chevrolet fight his way up into the top 5 again. Lap 116 is when he's taking tires. Everybody here in the top 5 did not come down. They came down on lap 93. We'll be back under green here in just a moment. There's Barney up in the flag booth, and away we go. Right now, that pace truck is going to be out of warranty if we keep getting under caution here. Let's keep on rolling through. Right now, I'm looking to see how Tessie's doing. Tessie right now is sitting 6th. Joe is hanging out. Oh, no, there's some contact. Here we go again between 3 and 4. Definitely as these guys ride side by side, more and more trouble starts brewing. Right now, Cameron Combs, I'm calling it. He's sitting up in 10th. He's still trying to fight for a couple more positions outside line. Much more conservative, riding about a car and a half length off the track rather than scraping the bottom close to the apron. So far, so good. Looking like he's seeing if he can get another angle here on the 54 machine of Brandon Banks, who had led some laps of this race. Keep fighting on through here. Not too bad right now. Let's take a, you know what? Let's take a ride. Let's sit right on top here and see what we got. Riding in the seat. Oh, no! No way. We just got in the passenger seat here at Cameron Combs' car. And I think Michael Brooks broke loose on the way out of 2 and came down into the 51 Chevrolet. He is immediately heading straight down into pit. Yep, there's the 99 going sideways. Boom. Yep, and then breaks that left front. Phew. Yeah, and you can obviously see, guys, that the turn exit of 2 here, that is exactly where we're seeing about 90% of our problems. All this is all on turn exit, and that is just kind of blasting these guys to pieces, and it's unfortunately tearing them up where we have where we have about 75 laps before we reach the end. Anybody who thought this may have been going green flag until the end has been vastly mistaken. Seeing we have as many cautions as we do, trying to push this on through, and that's another thing. If you've been planning on it going green, you've got your pit strategy set up. You know how many laps this fuel is going to go. But now that you're almost taking that and throwing it out the window and going, all right, well, if you built a long run car, right now we've only really had about one long run. And that was between the lap 33 and the 95 caution. After that, we're looking about every 15 to 20 laps. We're back under the yellow fever. And just unable to shake this disease here, but this is unfortunately collecting some of our top guys out there on the track. I mean, we're seeing Tessie and John Williams. These guys are back down pit road again to fix even more damage. I mean, we've got guys. Joe has come down 7 times. Justin Cope has been down in pit road 12 times, so a dozen times for Mr. Cope. And it's just, unfortunately, just kind of getting everybody all smushed and mashed up. Brian Rayburn was actually able to return back to the track out there, but he is now heading back down pit road again. I just don't know if that car is fixed up enough for him to become competitive or not to become a danger out there on the track. But he's going to return back down pit road, and his pit crew's going to check everything out, try one more time, make a couple more adjustments, and see if they can get that thing fixed up a little bit. Probably get most of the required, and then back out on the track he's going to go. So quick check, everything looks good. All the wheels are still tight, and back out he's going to go. Wow, what a turn this race has taken. seeing that we are collecting a good bit of cautions here. Do appreciate you guys hanging in there with us. Definitely been having a blast, especially here on our end. Really appreciate hosting the NSR League. I believe your guys' broadcaster that you guys had last week may be down and out for a little bit. Might be sick, so we are filling in for them this week, especially at Dover, one of my favorite tracks. Definitely like covering tracks I'm rather familiar with, especially ones that I have visited. Unfortunately, I have not had the liberty of visiting this track. I heard it's a fantastic track to go to, and they said it's more like a Bristol track, and it's insanely loud, just because of the small area, the amount of speed, and crunching all the cars together. But I have been to Charlotte, Darlington, and Richmond, so at least around that area. You guys out in the chat can tell me which ones you have visited and tell me which ones you would recommend. I heard Talladega was a good one, but I don't know about waiting 45 seconds to see the guys come around again. So we'll see how this goes. So Brandon Banks, Justin Lewis starting in the front row. Keith Fonseca and Craig Parks sitting 3 and 4. Sikosi battles his way up, lap down up 15 spots, and hopefully we'll see him continue on through. Right now, it's showing Sikosi is disconnected here. I don't know what happened here. I'm hoping he's coming back. Uh-oh, something happened there. I don't know if it just booted him back. Sikosi was up 15 positions, sitting 5th. Now he's going to be back down to 12th. What we're going to be is back under green. Away we go. Mike Bruno sitting in the 19 Chevrolet here, trying to roll on through the top 8 with Chevrolets. Then we reach a Ford back there with Joe, and Tessie starts with Chevrolets again. Let's keep an eye on it as these guys roll on through. Not too bad by Banks getting away. I've got to admit, no one looking like they're interested in settling in. Everybody's got the pedal to the metal here, and they've got it to the floor trying to figure out where they're going to go. All these horses, but no room to roam. Let's see where we can go. Right now, Ehrman looking to see if he can follow on through. Down the bottom, I think Ehrman's breaking loose. Ehrman is around. No way. Our lap leader of the race has destroyed his race car. Breaking loose on none other than turn 2, yet again. Wow. So that may have collected a couple of guys in our top 5 here. Let's take a look. Alrighty. We're taking the top side. We see the car in the front. That's Banks. Count back 3. And we're looking at the 48. And that's who we're looking for, Ehrman here. I'm hoping that he didn't scrub down. Ooh. Right down there at the bottom. He was trying to hold on to it. Yeah, I think Hammond squeezing up toward the top. It could have got a little closer to that wall, and I think it'd been all right. So you see everybody driving through the debris on the track. Ehrman around, and he's going to be definitely back down pit road. Actually, Ehrman is not. Ehrman is not rejoining pit road here. That's a gutsy call. Strickland, Parks, John Williams joining down pit road again. Here we comes in in front of his box. Sikosi, he's working his way out. His car almost looks perfect out there. Hard charger of the race here so far is Thomas Stanley. We'll see if Stanley decides to come down pit. I would assume not, seeing that he has joined pit road back on lap 123. Guys who's been out there the longest has been Andy Reeves. He's been out there since lap 104. See how this goes. Ehrman. Down pit road. Yep. So that should be Ehrman. He should be behind Matthew Wheeler. Wheeler working his way down pit road. Into his box. I believe Lucky Dog around should be Justin Cope. Giving Cope only about 5 laps down here. And oddly enough, Ehrman putting on some tires. Wonder if he's got some flat spots in it there. Alright, we'll keep an eye here on Dakota Ehrman here, but we'll float away for just a little bit. And kind of see if his pit crew is able to kind of bash out any of those dents. Now out there on the track, everybody's kind of taking a couple numbers here, figuring out what they can do. Ehrman right now in the 48 is still sitting down pit road here. Ehrman on the way out, so he gets a minute of damage repair. As he fights his way out of pit road, no one wanting to go another lap down here. We'll see how this goes, see if everybody can kind of recollect themselves and get back at it. ...131 laps complete here, as we're actually driving around on 132. Should be back under green here the next time by. May take a ride here with one of our drivers. And kind of see how it looks. Maybe Mark Sikosi. Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. We'll ride along with Sikosi here at the time for the green flag and see how it looks. So everybody kind of setting up. Ready to line up. In the Geico restart zone. Green flag. Right along here. I know from our angle in the TV stands, everything looks smooth. But look how much these cars are wiggling around in front of him here. Sikosi having to stay down toward the bottom as he's got a driver to his outside here. Right now holding on, 62 machine up close to the wall. Thomas Stanley unable to keep it collected here. Right now it looked like Stanley might have blinked out there, scared a couple of drivers, so they're going to be back to the drawing board and see if they can fight back to the front. Somebody who's fighting back to the front is John Hammond. He's battled up into the 4th position yet again. He's fighting up through as he just passed Keith Fonseca here. Fonseca doing a heck of a job here tonight, gaining at least 6, making sure he gets a top 5. Let's rotate on back where I already see some trouble starting to happen again around the Craig Parks area. He is out of shape. And I'm not saying normally that guys are out of shape. It's when you see everybody in single file and then somebody's about 3 car lengths up the track getting close to the wall and exit. That's not a good thing. Guys are having a hard time trying to float around, stay in a nice even line, and try to pick up some time. John Williams, originally a top 5 driver here with a lot of damage, now down to 13th. He's going to have to see if he can come back from this, especially with that bent up right rear. He's going to have a hard time trying to see if he can make it up. Let's get into the battle here for 3rd. Right now, it looks like Justin Lewis is on the outside of the 77, and he's going to allow the 00 of John Hammond to go around him. Now, the only difference is there's one pit on the 116, and actually Hammond came in on 123. So not too much difference in tire strategy here. But Hammond is starting to really pick up the pace and really starting to roll through this field. I don't know quite 110% sure as to why Hammond's pushing so hard. He's definitely got a 3rd spot, but right now he wants to get around Brandon Banks so bad he can't see straight. Seeing if he can run down Mike Bruno before Bruno gets away too far. Right now, half a second off of Banks' front bumper here. And now Hammond's starting to really starting to really pick up the pace. Interesting enough to see what he's doing. He's about 1/10 of a second faster than Banks' last lap. So Banks has a mirror full of him right now, as this is looking pretty solid here from John Hammond. Let's take a look back off Banks. It looks like Hammond gets down, almost nudges that apron a little bit. He's got to be careful, as we've seen way too many problems coming out of turn number 2. Now Michael Strickland, he's a driver we've actually seen been marching back as well, like John Williams. Michael Strickland's actually losing 7 positions here on the night. That 87 machine not having a good time here right now as he's flying down the backstretch. Still looks like he's got a boatload of front damage. You see that front hood looks like a potato chip out there. So he is dealing with a lot of front downforce issues, which is giving him nothing but trouble. You also see, ooh, there's the nudge to the wall. Driver here in the back, I think that might have been Reeves. Reeves dealing with some trouble there in the 45 machine. Haven't talked much about Reeves out there. He's holding on to it though. Right now it's showing him here in the 7, but we got him at the 45 machine. Andy Reeves still doing it here on that outside line. It's seeming to hold out pretty well. But there's one thing here at Dover, that safer barrier wall making it very, very nice for these guys to nudge and keep on getting through. Battle for second is now over as John Hammond slices underneath, and he gets now that second mark. But for a second, that's how much he has to make up to catch up to Mike Bruno, is taking off with all that fresh air and out in front. John Hammond moves up to second here at Dover. Back in the battle for 11th place, Michael Strickland sits in 12th. Right now, John Williams has sliced himself up into a solid position. Right now, 11th. Thomas Stanley will be next for Williams to return back to the top 10. Not too bad from the number 5, who's been dealing with the damage that he received in the last couple of cautions here. Trying to figure out if he can keep it on going. Right now, we are seeing riding along with Strickland yet again, watching John Williams pull away from them now, unfortunately. And we are here farther in the back. I do want to take a look, float up top to Fonseca, another driver. Remember I said we kind of get perked up a little bit when you see drivers start rotating higher in the field, when they start getting closer up to that wall, because that turn exit is just ever so critical here. With 55 laps to go, you can't make the mistake now. If you've already had a bad first half, now is the time to turn it around, as guys are having many more difficulties out there on the track, getting these cars to stick, getting them to hook, trying to dial them in as the track is still changing out here. That is exactly what these guys are going to keep on doing. Ehrman has fought himself back into the 5th spot despite the damage. He's still keeping on going right now. I am impressed to see what he's doing out there, as looks like Tessie here sits in 7th. Down underneath, he's going to go. Seeing if he can put Justin Lewis behind him. Lewis now behind the 8 ball here. And now Tessie is following Ehrman. Ehrman rotating on through. The Elite Performance Industries machine is going to continue on. Not bad. If you guys are thinking out there that Ehrman might have this one and be able to reel it in from the back, let me know, as this has definitely been a great race here so far. No more other issues out there. Fonseca looking like he's getting ready to create an issue here for Justin Lewis. Lewis rotates to the top, but Lewis might try to switch it up here, heading down the backstretch. Great job here so far from the number 77, trying to hold on. But battling side by side will take its toll on the tires. There is no doubt about that. Down pit road for at least 14 minutes, both of them. Cameron Combs and Michael Brooks, both of them have joined pit, still hanging out down there, trying to get these cars squared away as they get mashed up just a little bit here on the night. So, quick update for all our guys heading down into the garage. Colby Mize, D. Lemon, looks like Timothy Davis, Matt Sisler. Brian Rayburn, he's still rolling around out there, so not down to the garage for him, but Ed Perry in the Jaws towing machine, he is sitting down and looks like he is taking it back to the garage. Robert Sanders, remember him in that crazy tie-dye looking car. The number 1 Ford is down, and Mark Cook, his Ford, has taken it back to the garage. So unfortunately, that's going to do it for those two gentlemen there. So we're going to continue on through. And I've got to admit, right now, I'm wondering if the only Toyota still out there on the track that is mobile right now and still kicking it with a 15-position gain on the night of Thomas Stanley. Is he able to do a little more out there to get up toward the front? We might try to see if we can actually tune in right now for the battle for second, as right now I think John Hammond got out of shape. Hammond went from second down to fifth in a matter of a turn here, and I don't think that is exactly what he wanted out there, right now Hammond is having a heck of a time here, and that did not go well. Find what happened to John Hammond here. Rotate on back, check out John Hammond as he's being passed yet again. Right now there may have been some contact here with the wall. Yeah, Hammond on the outside of Banks. Now Banks holding him. Here it comes. That should be the turn. Oh, Hammond loose. Yeah, loose and just loses a bunch of positions there. Looks like Ehrman and Joe took him over. And he's able to put Tessie behind him. For everything, green flag here so far. Good number of laps here, almost 30 underway. Getting a good long stretch on the last of this race. So Mike Bruno out in front by 2.5 seconds. Brandon Banks, he's trying to see if he can see if he can get some speed under him, run him back down. Joe in the 47 Ford sits behind him. Dakota Ehrman, despite the damage, sits fourth. And Hammond back under fire yet again. Outside line for him is Alex Tessie here on the bottom. Tessie trying to hold it on, trying to hold it. Oh, so close. 7 going to get a good angle as he dives in. Scrubs a little bit of the apron here, which means he's going to bounce up. Hammond checks up a little bit, decides not to get his nose ripped off, but he's going to have some turn exit speed. Heading into one lap. 1:58 underway. Hammond trying to hold on to 5th place, but he's going to lose it there by now almost 3/4. Now 1, 2, 3, now up to 4 car lengths. Hammond has got a long way to come back from a bad turn there between 1 and 2. Keith Fonseca sits down in 7th. Craig Parks is now 8th. Stanley, he's gained another position. Puts John Williams behind him, and Williams is not one for being passed very much here. So Stanley's Toyota picking up 16 positions here on the night, 9th, and Williams, of course, sitting in 10th. You guys tuned in to the last Dover race we had back there with Alice Forget in the 19 Toyota. Man, oh man, did he leave this field. He was out by almost a 4.5 second lead with his Toyota in the front. And man, oh man, just a bad pit stop. He sped in, he sped out, and then hit the barrels later on in the race and was just absolutely unable to recover. But he is the concrete king, and I can't wait to see what he's got for the upcoming year in the Racing Revolution. Because it looks like SimTraX may be re-signing back on with the Racing Revolution Wednesday nights. Guys, you can find out all about that at SimTraXBroadcasting.com, out there on our Facebook, or definitely keep tuned in to YouTube. I'll keep reminding you guys. Tonight we are here with the NSR Xfinity Series. Definitely these guys have been doing a great job out here so far. We had a couple of slew of cautions here as these guys have been blasting each other to pieces, but now it looks like everything has calmed down pretty well. And the only unfortunate part is all the way back here in that 10th position, which now looks like John Williams is sliced underneath Thomas Stanley there to regain another position back. About 11.5 seconds off pace here. So Mike Bruno right now has been able to avoid most of the trouble out there on the track, and he is going to be able to stay fast. He's going to be out in front, no trouble. plenty of fresh air, but is he going to need to pit one more time before the end? And that's going to be the big question right now, is if Mike Bruno has enough fuel to make it to the end of this race. If not, we may see him pit one more time for tires and fuel, and that'll be the last time we see anybody come down pit unless we end up getting yellow fever again. You want to give a shout out there to the NC811.org. Know what's below before you dig. Definitely can't believe people go out there with an excavator, stick the shovel in the ground, and then end up digging up somebody's electrical lines. Definitely, whether it be water or worse, gas, you end up starting a fire or an explosion or something like that. So you guys know what to do. Call 811. Heck, no matter where you are, and they can come out there and mark up the field. Definitely be able to spray the ground or stick flags on the ground, even your choice of what they can do, depending on how permanent you want those marks to know where all the lines are. 45 laps left to go here at Dover Motor Speedway. So far, this has been a fantastic race. I really enjoy seeing how this all has been going. And we'll kind of give it to the drivers here for just a moment. So, guys, if you want to crank up the volume a little bit, tune into the drivers. We're going to hit a little bit of a crank it up session. We'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. 172 laps complete here at Dover Motor Speedway. Great race so far, as this Mike Bruno looks like he may be able to take it all the way. Unfortunately, I am concerned because Mike Bruno last time came down pit at lap 123. Brandon Banks came down on 116, so fuel may be really tight here, as it's possibly 70 to 80 laps on a tank of fuel. Depending on the amount of cautions here, is when he came down on 123. That was the last caution, if I'm not mistaken. No, Michael Brooks did come down for that caution on 122. Then we had one shortly after that involved Dakota Ehrman, who ended up folding it up there. Definitely a lot of trouble out there. He was unable to continue on. But we're waiting to see if Mike Bruno can take it to the end. He has 26 laps left to do it. Brandon Banks trying to reel him in as he's slowly been making up some time here, 1.6 seconds. But right now, it's, he's just not going to be able to make enough. He got 1/10 last lap. He would have to continue that move on through to get caught up to him in less than 20 laps, and then hopefully have 5 to catch up. Alex Tessie here looking like he is trying to promote what he wants as a third-place finish, and away he goes. Right now, he's sliding underneath. Got past him now, heading into 1, and it looks like Joe isn't going to have anything for him in the number 47 Ford. Right now, it's looking like he's pretty good here so far as Alex Tessie moves on through. Joseph sits in 4th, and Ehrman still sitting for a 5th spot. Now, remember, Ehrman originally had led most of the laps here of this race, but it looks like Bruno is going to be making a bid for that exact spot for the most laps led here tonight, as Bruno has been leading ever since lap 123, I believe. Out in front he goes, so now Ehrman was trying to recover and come back, but you see the back end of his car is no longer square. It's a little more rounded as he kind of made a slip up there, rotated up, and made contact with the wall. 23 laps left to go at Dover, and the NSR League is doing a great job here tonight as they've been keeping on the roll. Definitely, if you were considering sponsoring this league, which definitely know these guys out there were doing it, you can get a hold of Mark Scosi out here and definitely tell these guys that you want to sponsor. You can sponsor just the race, you can sponsor the league, you can sponsor cars, you can sponsor even flags. I've seen even yellow flags or even the white flag come out, but any little bit helps, especially with broadcasting and things like that, for these guys to come out here, have fun, and definitely bring you the best in iRacing. NSR League has got about 21 laps left to go here as we're seeing Mike Bruno. He crossed the line just a moment ago, and we are sticking right now with Dakota Ehrman, who's sitting in the 5th position. Keith Fonseca gaining in the 5th. John Hammond returning back to his 7th place qualifying position, and Craig Parks back to his 8th place qualifying position. John Williams right now is trying to figure out what adjustment he can make if he needs to pit again to try to make up more positions. Right now, he would love to get a top 5 here, but right now it's just not looking like it, as he has got to make up at least 9.5 seconds to catch up to Dakota Ehrman. 20 laps to go. That may be the impossible, but we've seen many, many things happen, especially on a white flag finish. I don't know about you guys, but when it comes short track racing, some guys can get piled up 4 or 5 and then slide on through. I know personally I've raced, sat back in a 24th position and finished 11th on a white flag run there, and was able to slide through the entire wreck. I was pretty wicked there, if you ask me, if I do say so. I could have gained a few more, but guys were sliding through the grass were able to cross the line before I was. Now, unfortunately, no grass to slide through here, especially on the front stretch. They definitely deal with some concrete barriers as they get on through, and that is not going to be an issue. Right now, this is really an outstanding performance here by Mike Bruno, staying out front by 16 seconds, even over the 10th place driver. This is huge right now, as he's going to have a comfortable lead, but is being sawn to pieces as Brandon Banks. Remember, we checked up here last time with Brandon Banks at a 1.6 second lead is what Mike Bruno had. Brandon Banks is making up the difference. Banks has originally pit back on lap 116. He is on much older tires and is now come in and taken that lead and cut it in half. So right now there's a good possibility we may see a battle for the lead later on here in another 5 to 10 laps. Banks is trying to hold on and keep his tires still underneath of him here so he can try to use them up the best he can by the time he catches up to the lead. But 0.7 of a second are what separate our leader and the second place driver of Brandon Banks here, and that is going to be a huge turn, but we'll keep an eye out on that battle here in just a moment. I do want to rotate back here with John Williams, who's right now trucking behind Matthew Wheeler, who's down a boatload of laps here, 11 that is, and try to keep on going. Right now, Williams not getting any more traction here. Thomas Stanley, Justin Lewis is hanging out in 11th, and Sikosi. So now Sikosi went back down a lap here. I don't think this thing is really going his way. If I remember right, I was listening during practice, He said this car was just too tight and he wasn't able to get it loosened up here, but hopefully he's able to kind of battle it back and figure out what he can do to get it going. 0.3 of a second is what separates Banks. We'll check up here in just a moment as Matthew Wheeler is sitting in front there of you-know-who. Right now, John Williams, and taking it back to the garage, Michael Strickland. He is taking it back. That's going to do it for him here. All right, let's go ahead and find our leader out there on the track. As right now, you see the 54 machine battling around a lapped car, and right now he's within striking distance with 13 to go. Great job here by Banks to definitely reel him in, but maintaining calm. As you see lapped cars are getting out of the way, they know what's coming. Definitely a good bit of debris building up on the windshield here, but that is not causing Brandon Banks to even think about anything else other than passing this 19. What a great turn exit of 4 here. Banks trying to take another shot. Riding on the outside, getting a breath of fresh air, might try to slice back underneath here. Great move, 54. He's coming with a run. Down onto the bottom, Brandon Banks. Side by side we go here, heading through 3 and 4. Banks might look like he's got a turn, and right now Bruno not happy about that turn because he has been out of shape for the past few laps. And Bruno now, from leading most of this second half here, drops down to second, and Banks is now going to be trying to put the distance on him. Interesting enough to see Banks holding on to those tires since lap 116, and he is continuing on the roll. Definitely a great job here as he is taking care of his tires, and he's only got 10 laps to go to hold on. Trying to stay out front of Mike Bruno here. He may be able to do it. I like what I see here. Brandon Banks, once he caught him, wasted no time getting out in front. He's going to shoot on by him here and roll on through. Fantastic run here. This is really actually being a great race here toward the end. I got to admit, we run about 70 laps under green here. And this is exactly how I expected the race to go before we ended up with a boatload of cautions. I don't know, everything seems to be a boatload around here. All right, Banks, Bruno, Tessie, 1, 2, and 3. Joe's going to be looking to make up the gap here. He's got 2 seconds. He's got to figure it out. Ehrman, he's only half a second above Fonseca, which sits down here in 6th. Hammond is in the 7th place. Craig Parks sitting in 8th. I'm going to see if Parks might be able to grab a hold of Hammond up here. He's only 0.3 of a second off with 8 laps left to go. Can Craig Parks pick up the pace? Right now, seeing if they can slide on through. Craig Parks trying to hold on. And it's going so far. Let's ride along with Craig Parks now. Yeah, Parks very easy on the gas here as he's letting the car do the rotating through. Notice how he's not on the gas. Good job here so far by Craig Parks. Trying to see if he can keep Hammond close. Banks has now made a half a second gap between him and Mike Bruno. 6 laps left to go here. We are looking at the guys close enough to battle for 7th position. I don't know if Parks is going to have enough as he slides out of 2. Right now he's still holding on to it. That car is breaking loose again. Wow. Yep, Parks. That is going to do it for him. Now he drops off a second from Hammond. Bruno is unable to make up any kind of gap here. These are the guys that were closest together. Now we're looking to see if Mike Bruno can catch him. Hit it again. Let's see. Mike Bruno trying to see if he can get up on him here. Let's take a nose drive here, right close to the ground. As you see where our camera is. They decide to lower that front spoiler down. No one was scraping the ground here. See how rubbered up it is around this turn. Sun's starting to come in just a little bit. Right now, Bruno losing a little bit of distance right on that exit of that turn. But hopefully he's right now Bruno is hoping that these lapped cars are going to hold up Banks. And it could very well be. Let's keep an eye. As right now, Bruno is hoping Banks is going to get jammed. Banks starting to talk to everybody out in front of him now. The 74 machine's going to have to move. Right now, Brian Rayburn might be under some trouble here as the 54 gets close as he comes to the white flag this time by. Already a little bit of wiggling in front of him here. Banks trying to hold on. Right now, I'm sure he's talking over the radio, trying to tell him, watch out. If I got to move, you guys are going to move. Right now, 54 slicing close to the bottom, less than half a mile before he completes this race. Brandon Banks trying to complete this one. Bruno, full send into 3. 19 machine trying to catch the 54, but I don't think he's going to have anything for him. Too wide as they come to the line, and Brandon Banks is the winner here of the Delaware 200. Excellent job there, Bruno, picking up 0.2 of a second and at least reel Brandon Banks in. Great job. Yeah, behind them as well, Alex Tessie here. Down, ends up making up 9 positions here on the night. And getting into a 3rd spot. Bruno on his way down pit. We'll keep our eye here on Brandon Banks, because I am definitely certain we're going to be seeing his burnouts here. As definitely he earned this one. Let's take a look. Brandon Banks, Bruno, Tessie. Got a little caught up there. See if we can get over top. So, excellent job by Banks here. Appreciate you guys hanging in there. If this is the first time you've tuned in to SimTraX Broadcasting, hold on just a moment. You know what we're going to do. We're going to reel on over, find our drivers, and we'll be right back, and we're going to have a conversation about how the Dover race went for them. All right, everybody, we are caught up with our 3rd place finisher. Alex, what a race this was, man. Dover was definitely tough, but starting all the way outside the top 10, you gained 9 spots in your Chevrolet here tonight. Dude, talk to me about Dover. How wild was this race?
Yeah, it was a long one, and there was so many yellow flags that it was really easy to lose focus, and man, I was falling asleep during those.
Well, definitely it was an extended race. We did get over the yellow fever, though, definitely toward the end of the and I personally enjoyed it a lot better, but it definitely seemed like a 1-lane track. Were you able to pass really anywhere out there?
Yeah, personally, I was only able to pass on the inside, but the guys were pinning me down, so it was really hard to get on the gas and not get tight and pass them on the exit. So yeah, it was really hard to pass for me. I got some guys on the outside, but uh, at the beginning when the tires were fresh, but after that, there was no passing outside.
Alrighty, man. Well, definitely one of the only Canadian out here racing, man. You trying to give these guys something to think about. You guys head to Atlanta next race at kind of the 2008 one. You guys are heading to the old Atlanta, not the Super Speedway. How confident you feel heading into that track after a third place finish here tonight?
I actually prefer the old Atlanta, but because I'm not super good at super speedway, so I'm glad we're going there. But it's another 1.5 miles. But for the confidence, I don't know. I mean, tonight was kind of a perfect storm because some guys like Dakota wrecked and gave me their places. So.
Yeah. Yeah, well, between Dakota Ehrman wrecking, and also John Williams. John Williams got caught up and smacked into the wall a little bit, so definitely that worked out really, really well here. But, man, shout-out time, and let's get you ready for Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
Shout-outs, sponsors. Who's watching? Nobody? Nothing?
Maybe my son. And also, I would like to thank EPI for the great setups that they provide me every week.
Excellent. See? That's what you talk about. You talk about the setups, man, because that's exactly what you need. Alex, appreciate you joining us, man. And I'll hopefully I'll run into you later on.
Thank you, Patrick. Have a rest. Good. Have a good night.
Appreciate it, bud. Thanks. All righty, everybody. That moves us on to our second place finisher here tonight. Right now, Mike Bruno. I've tried 3 times, I've tried 4 times, I've tried 5 times. It's Mike Bruno, not Mark. I'm going to try 100 times to get that right. The 19 Chevrolet, he finishes in second place. Man, you led a giant amount of laps here. But right at the end, Brandon Banks just had a little more. Talk to me a little bit about the end of this race.
Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun there at the end. I was glad we actually got some laps in. Yeah, I think I just went a little bit too hard there. Was actually expecting one more caution, was kind of hoping for it there, about 30, 40 to go, but we never got it. Brandon just did a really good job, saved his stuff. He made his way up through there and just slipped up one too many times, and he was able to get me. He ran a damn good race, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, the entire race had yellow fever right at the beginning, and did that throw any of your pit strategy off at that point?
Yeah, there was a couple times where we were off, where we were at a disadvantage, though, and I think it came back around where we were actually at an advantage there at the end. I don't know if it was track changing or my adjustments or what, but the thing just started getting really loose after about 30, 35, and there wasn't much I could do from there.
Oof. Yeah, well, definitely tough. I know out there both you and Mr. Ehrman were out there racing out there in those liquid molly cars. Talk to me about Atlanta, man. We had that's where you guys are heading to, not the super speedway. Which one would you prefer, and kind of how do we know that? How do you know that you have the right setup going into that track?
Yeah, I'm an old school Atlanta guy for sure. Just loving to have to hang on to that thing pretty much the whole run. So hoping we go there. I'm hoping it's loose. I'm hoping it stays that way. So you got to kind of rip and drive the thing the whole time. Just makes it a lot more fun. But yeah, we've done some laps there. It feels good so far. I'm kind of curious to see what the temp and the track state will be once we go there and see how it actually feels. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, saying that Dover was down in the 80s today. I'm sure you guys could have used another 10 to 15 degrees out there on the track, and I think this thing would have been completely different, man. Shout out time.
Yeah, I think my team is always phase 2. Big congrats to Brandon there on the win. He did an awesome job. Dakota ran great, just had some tough luck at the end. Thank Liquid Molly as always. They've been a big help this season, and thank you for broadcasting, man.
Yeah, not a problem, man. Congratulations on your second place finish, and good luck on your next race.
Thanks, man.
All right, everybody, that is going to do it, and that moves us to our race winner. Definitely Brandon Banks saved everything up. He held on to it all the way until the end, but what a excellent run. Man, I love the way you saved the tires here, Brandon. Is that kind of the plan, or do you think we may have had another caution incoming?
Well, I really thought we'd have another caution, to be honest with you. But I knew those guys were on just a couple laps fresher than me, and I knew when Mike got there, I was just gonna have to let him go, and I knew after about 40 or 50 laps, we could maybe reel him back in. I wasn't sure on the tire disadvantage, but it kind of worked out there. I think they maybe ran a little too hard at the beginning there, and expecting a caution like we all kind of were. So I got lucky there, and I really didn't think I was going to get back to him. And Dakota was coming there quick there at the end. He fell off, so I don't know if maybe he had some damage from that earlier spin, but he was really good tonight. So, but yeah, I mean, we knew we weren't the fastest car for 30, 40 laps, but we knew we'd be pretty good on the long run, so that was kind of our strategy.
But long run is the last thing you got for the first half of the race. I mean, it definitely threw everybody off. Pit strategies were all messed up. I mean, were there any adjustments you had to make to just remain competitive?
No, I mean, I felt like the car kept getting better and better every run, so I really didn't mess with it too much. I had ran some couple practice laps earlier in the week and ran some long runs, and kind of knew that I knew if I could get to the end, I think my car would be a little better. So I didn't make too many adjustments. I said, but we just, like I said, it's really just the biggest thing in these races, just to kind of hang on and be there at the end. These guys are so good, man. It's really hard to even finish in the top 5 in here. So to get a win, it's really great.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. I knew when I drove the Xfinity cars out there for some time, it's a really heavy car. It requires a lot of momentum, and once you start kind of getting out of shape, you ride high one lap, man, it just the tires come back and bite you. You end up with any kind of body damage. It tries to drag around the turns, and you're just unable to bounce back. You kind of agree with that?
Oh yeah, we got off the floor a couple times, and I hit it pretty hard. Craig Parks was in the Discord with me, and I was like, oh man, I just killed it. So it's tough. I mean, you're trying to get as much speed as you can off the corner, and sometimes you just try to get a little too much, and the pancakes that right side. If you do that too hard in this car, you're done. So just kind of caught a break there. I hit it like once or twice pretty hard, and I really thought I was done, but the car kept on going, and like I said, I made it there to the end, and gave Mike a little run there.
All right. So how does this help your confidence moving into the old school Atlanta next week?
I think it's all right. We're pretty good there. Usually the whole DVR team we love that track, so we've put in quite a few laps there. So I think we'll be all right. I said hopefully we can run top 10, and just try to keep up with these guys, and like we did this week, and just kind of stay there and then be there at the end of the race. I think we should be able to come away with something good hopefully next week.
Oh yeah, well, wins don't always get you to the end. That's just that little cherry on top. Is the consistency that always wins championships. Definitely give me your shout outs here, Brandon. I got to hear who's been watching you and who's sponsoring the car tonight.
Yeah, so we got Nano Leaf on the car. Appreciate that, and in the NC811.org for sponsoring the league, and you guys for putting on the broadcast. The DBR guys, congrats to Craig there. He's put in a lot of work in this car, finished in the top 10 this week. So congrats to him, and like I said, everybody that puts this on, Mark and all them guys. It's a really fun league. Like I said, if you want to get into a league with some real good competition, this is it. So just appreciate everybody, and just thank everybody for watching.
All right, Brandon, appreciate you, man. Good luck at Atlanta.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, everybody. That is our winner here of the Delaware 200. Dover was definitely a great race here so far. I've got to take a look at what we had going on. We had a bunch of cautions here right at the beginning, but once the cautions went away about that 135 mark, we had 70 to 80 laps of straight green flag racing. I really appreciate the NSR Xfinity Series putting on their best and showing me what they're really made of here in the second half of this race. Do want to give a shout out there to the NC811.org. Appreciate them out there. Definitely know what you're going into before you dig. You don't want to catch anything you're not supposed to. But that's going to do it for us here in the in this league, man. Definitely one to be seen. Make sure you tune in and stick to their Facebook, as they kind of have a bunch of things going on. New races coming up, and obviously heading to Atlanta next week. That should be a great race. I can't wait to tune in and see how that is going. But from all of us at SimTraX Broadcasting, be well, be safe, be kind, and we'll catch all you guys next time.